Okay, so in this short video, I'm going to sort of replicate things that I've done in past videos where I'm going to start a new project. I'm going to define the state plane coordinate system, but this time instead of creating a point feature class from EC data, I want to do it from yield data. And then once that's done, we'll start working with some sector creation process. So to get started, I want to review with you again ways to find out the coordinate system. So before I start a new project, I'm going to open up another window of ArcMap, and I want to bring in that state plane coordinate system feature class and identify the area. So in previous tutorials, we worked with that ARDA farm, and so I'm going to use that as my starting point for this project. So what I want to do is go over here to Catalog, go to my Share folder, bring in my state plane coordinate system, and zoom in to the area that I'm interested in. So I know I'm working in the Utah area, so we'll go. Now, if I'm familiar with the area, again, I'll just identify, click on the polygon, and we'll see, oh, we're in Utah Central. But again, if I'm not familiar with the area and I need to use the geocoding tool, I can bring up that toolbar, type in the city, the address, the zip code, something like that, to kind of help me define what polygon or what state plane coordinate system that I'll fall into. So, but we'll type in area to Utah, hit enter. It goes out and finds it, and indeed that's right there in the center. Again, if I need to right click on that text and say flash so I can make sure I see it, identify that polygon, and it is Utah Central State Plane Coordinate System. So that's again how to define what state plane coordinate system we'll be working in. So I'm going to close these out. Just remember Utah Central Coordinate System. Don't need these anymore. So we'll start my new project. And remember, we're going to right click on my data frame, go to properties, and I'm going to establish my projected system. Now I don't have Utah as a favorite yet, so let's go ahead and add that in. So we'll go projected coordinate systems, state plane, and we'll pick our NAD 83 2011 feet, and we'll go down to Utah Central. So we'll go down here to the U's. There's Utah Central, and then hit OK. And we'll save this. And this time I'm going to go to my precision irrigation analysis root, go to my farms, go LDS, and my ARDA files and our folder structure. And at the root, I'm going to type in map and hit save. And then I'm going to add in my base data here. So we'll go base layer, and I'll add in my aerial photography and hit add. And then I'll kind of zoom in to that area, and you'll see at the globe level, it's going to look kind of weird, but that's because we projected it. But we'll zoom in here to the area, and we'll get started. So I'm going to save this, and now we're going to go through the same steps that we did for the EC data that we will for the yield data. Remember earlier we went through, and in my folder connections, we sanitized that yield data. Remember, we took the raw data and we sanitized it by running the script underneath the sanitized data, and then ran the prepared yield data, and that sanitized it for me. So now we're ready to bring that in and work with it. So what I'm going to do is go under File, Add Data, Add XY Data, go out and find my LDS farms, ARDA, my raw data, get the sanitized. It understands my lat long. In the same way that I have to generate my default projection for the EC process, I do the same thing here for the yield data. So we're going to start off with a non-projected coordinate system, right? We're going to go to Geographic, we're going to go to World, because that's how this data is collected, WGS 84, and that's how I need to start off with. Again, this is just going to create an event layer, right? This is telling me I have no object IDs. It's really just the event layer. I can't really do anything with it other than to visualize it. So we'll bring that data in, and you'll see there's sort of some dots showing up right here. We'll zoom in on that area, zoom in a little tighter, and we'll see now we're getting all this yield data coming in for these pivots. All right, now at this point then what I need to do is I'm going to right click on this layer and convert it from a event layer to a feature class. Right now it's just a events layer. I can't really do anything with it. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to go down to data, export data, and we're going to do all features. And remember, I'm going to do in the data frame, right? Use the same coordinate system as the data frame because we've already changed our data frame to the state plane coordinate system. And now I need to redirect, instead of working in the WSU golf courses, I want to go to my LDS, ERDA, there's my file geodatabase, and then I can bring in my data. Now, this could be, name this anything we want to, pivot 3, pivot 4, whatever we want. So let's just call this pivot underscore 3. Try not to use minus signs, right? Because that, in some instances, that's sort of pivot minus something, and ArcMap might get kind of confused with that. So if you're going to separate things out, use an underscore. So we'll use pivot 3, and we'll hit save. So now we're going to take all the features, use the same coordinate system as the data frame. We're going to place that in the right file geodatabase underneath my LDS ERDA farms folder structure, and hit OK. Now it's going to go through and create the feature class. There's quite a few features in there, but it doesn't take too long to process this. And now it's asking me, do you want to add this newly created layer to the map? Yes, I do. And at the same time, I want to get rid of this events layer now because I don't need that anymore. Remove. And now if we come back over here to catalog, we can look at our data and we can see now we have this pivot 3. And I probably shouldn't have called it pivot 3. Now I just realized this is my yield data. Right? So while I'm here, let me show you how to rename that. So let's remove that from table of contents. And I'm going to just call this yield, and maybe give it a 2015 name. There we go. So this is yield, and we'll drag and drop it back over here, and now I've got my yield data. So let's save this project. Right, now that I saved this project, I'm going to stop this tutorial at this point and pick up the next tutorial, which is going to start working with creating our irrigation sectors and then populating data for those sectors.